Discover the incredible moment a poor girl comforted a crying boy. Then 20 supercars arrived. The sun shone brightly on the suburban streets, where children laughed, and the scent of barbecue drifted through the air. It was an ordinary day, but for 12-year-old Sarah, it was about to become something extraordinary. As she set up for an art project at the community center, she caught sight of Jake, a once proud symbol of wealth and privilege, now crumpled on the playground, tears streaming down his face. Sarah felt her heart clench. Here was a boy who had everything, at least, that's what it seemed like. But the truth was buried under layers of shame and heartbreak. "Hey, Jake," she approached cautiously, her voice soft as she sat down beside him. "It's okay to cry sometimes." She reached out, placing a hand on his back. The warmth of her touch broke through his wall, and he turned to her, surprise mingling with sadness in his eyes. Fake smiles and bravado couldn't hide the pain that twisted his features. I don't know what to do," he stammered, his voice barely a whisper. Sarah could feel the unease radiating off him, but she remembered her mother's words, "Strength isn't measured by what you have, but by what you give." She offered him a genuine smile, her heart a pool of empathy. "Well, you can start by sharing what's on your mind." As Jake hesitantly opened up about the upheaval in his life, she found herself revealing her dreams of racing cars, the thrill of speed racing down wide-open roads. For the first time in the longest while, Jake smiled, a spark of joy igniting between them, but their budding friendship faced an unexpected test. Later that week, Sarah's mother was in a car accident that flipped their world upside down. The news was like crashing thunder, heavy and unforgiving. Sarah's heart pounded with anguish as she watched her mother struggle to heal. Doubts crept in, mixing with fear. Would they make it through this? Then, like an unexpected ray of sunshine, the community rallied around them. Inspired by the strength Sarah had shown through her own challenges, friends, neighbors, and local businesses united. It was incredible to witness. Supercars lined the streets, each one glinting in the afternoon sun like trophies of hope. "We're doing this for you and your mom," people shouted supportively, smiles painted on their faces. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. On the day of the charity drive, anticipation buzzed in the air. Sarah could hardly believe those painted dreams were now reality, the supercars lined up like a rainbow on the asphalt. It filled her with excitement, but it was Jake's promise to take her for a ride that sent her heart soaring. Together, they approached those powerful machines, the roar of engines echoing like a call to adventure. As they settled into the car, the sun setting brilliantly behind them, Sarah's heart raced not just from the thrill but from the uncertainty of their futures. Would they overcome the challenges ahead? Would their friendship endure? As the engine roared to life, one question echoed in her mind: what does it truly mean to be wealthy in a world where kindness can change everything? The engine's growl pulsed through Sarah like a live wire, the vibration electrifying her senses while Jake gripped the wheel, eyes sparkling with a mix of excitement and nerves. She could tell he was still grappling with his own troubles, but for now, they were united in a shared thrill. "Ready?" Jake's voice trembled slightly, but it held a note of exhilaration. Sarah nodded, her mind racing with the possibilities ahead. They were stepping into something more than just a joyride, it felt like they were entering a new chapter in their lives. The moment Jake pressed down on the accelerator, the world blurred alongside them. The rush was incredible. Trees and houses became streaks of color, and the air whipped through her hair, carrying away the lingering weight of worries. Jake's laughter pierced through the rush, a sound so full of life it felt like music. It was a reminder of the joy they could find when the weight of the world felt too heavy to bear. As they thundered down the streets, the dazzling array of supercars from the charity event followed them. Each one glimmered, a testament to the hearts that had poured into this day, but it was their shared adventure that ignited something deeper. It was about friendship, resilience, and the unyielding spirit of community. After a few exhilarating laps around the neighborhood, they pulled off to the side, the car humming quietly, settling into a softer rhythm. Sarah could see her neighbors gathered in the park, still buzzing with energy from the event. The laughter and chatter created a comforting backdrop, a reminder that they were surrounded by a support system. "Thanks for this," Sarah said, looking at Jake, who was now grinning ear to ear. "I needed to feel normal again." There was a sincerity in her voice that made Jake's smile falter for just a second, as if he understood her words more than she realized. "I did too. It's been a rough time, you know," he replied, his voice softer now. This makes it all feel a little lighter." Their eyes met, and for a moment, the weight of their individual burdens felt manageable. It didn't erase their struggles, but it assured them they weren't alone, that they had each other to lean on. Just then, the magic of the day took a new turn. A familiar car, gleaming in red, pulled up near them. It was a vintage Mustang, and as the driver stepped out, Sarah's breath caught in her throat. It was Mr. Anderson, her mother's boss and a fixture of their community, known for his kindness and generosity. As he approached, a contemplative expression crossed his face. "Sarah. Jake. I heard you two were on a little adventure," he said, his voice warm but thoughtful. There was something in his eyes, a flicker of understanding as he took in their joy mixed with their silent struggles. "I have something to share with you both," Mr. Anderson continued, glancing down as if gathering courage. "I know things have been tough, and I want to let you know that you're not alone in this." "There is something we'd like to do." Before he could finish, a loud shout erupted from the crowd, drowning him out. Suddenly, cheers erupted, breaking through the stillness like fireworks lighting up the night sky. "What is happening?" Sarah whispered, excitement bubbling inside her yet again. Jake turned, eyes wide with curiosity. "I think it's about to get even more interesting." Mr. Anderson paused, looking like he was about to unveil a surprising twist that could change everything. It was clear now that their day was far from over, and the magic that had started with a ride in a supercar had become something much greater. What was Mr. Anderson about to reveal? Whatever it was, Sarah felt her heart quicken, knowing that this moment could lead them both down a road they had never expected, one filled with possibility and change. Mr. Anderson's eyes sparkled with a hint of mischief as he glanced at the erupting crowd. The cheers crescendoed, a wave of anticipation washing over the park, pulling Sarah and Jake into its current. It was as if the very air vibrated with excitement, tinged with something profound, something transformative. "Stay right here," Mr. Anderson instructed with a gentle smile, his demeanor shifting from contemplative to energizing. He turned to walk toward the crowd but paused, looking back at them. "You both will want to see this." Sarah's heart raced. Jake interlaced his fingers nervously, glancing between Sarah and the distant gathering. "Do you think it's some kind of surprise?" he asked, his enthusiasm barely contained. "I don't know," Sarah replied, her curiosity piqued. "But it feels big." With a shared glance, they stepped out of the car, leaving behind the hum of the engine that had just fueled their wild adventure. They weaved through the throng of people, the laughter and voices growing louder as they approached. The atmosphere shimmered with joy, faces lit up like they were all part of something extraordinary. And then she saw them, bathed in brilliant sunlight, 20 supercars gliding into the park, each more magnificent than the last, their colors rich and deep. It felt like a dream, the embodiment of everything they had just experienced. "Whoa," Jake breathed in awe. Before Sarah could respond, Mrs. Thompson, the local school principal, stepped forward, her hands raised to quiet the crowd. "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for your generosity today. Because of your support, we've not only funded our cancer hospital renovation but also created a special opportunity for our youngsters here." Gasps erupted among the crowd, smatterings of excitement spilling over. Sarah's eyes widened as she clutched Jake's arm. "What does she mean?" he murmured, Hardly able to contain his excitement, then, Mr. Anderson's voice rang out, clear and confident. With the help of our generous donors, we've arranged for the children of our community to experience a ride along in these incredible cars. The crowd erupted again, cheers blending into a symphony of enthusiasm. Sarah's heart soared. She saw faces light up, children bouncing with excitement. But what caught her attention most was a young boy sitting on a nearby bench, his face streaked with tears. He didn't seem to share in the joy around him. What's wrong? Sarah wondered aloud, feeling a tug on her heart. Jake followed her gaze, troubled. Maybe he's too shy to join in. Without thinking, Sarah approached the boy. She knelt in front of him, meeting his watery blue eyes. "Hey," she said softly. "What's the matter? The event looks so fun, right?" He sniffed, wiping his nose with the back of his hand. "I wanted to ride, but I don't have anyone to go with." Sarah felt a swell of empathy. "That's okay," she said, her heart urging her on. "You can ride with me." His eyes widened, a glimmer of hope breaking through his sadness. "Really?" he asked, disbelief coloring his tone. "Sure. You should see how amazing it is." Sarah beamed, taking a step back to look at Jake. "What do you think, Jake?" The warmth radiating from Jake's expression transformed into a desire to include the boy. "Absolutely. It'll be a ride you won't forget." Their words seemed to spark a light in the boy's face, and Sarah's heart fluttered with joy. This was more than just a ride in a supercar, it was a chance to lift someone else, to share the exhilaration that had come to mean so much to her. As they turned back toward the crowd, laughter and excitement still filling the air, Sarah felt an energy buzz beneath her skin. But before they could join the throng again, Mr. Anderson stopped them. "Hold on. I think there's something more to this. It's not just about the ride." Sarah's excitement mingled with a thread of anxious anticipation. What could be coming next? "Listen closely," he replied, a secretive smile playing on his lips. "You're both going to want to be involved in what happens next." Sarah exchanged a glance with Jake, the air thick with possibilities. What kind of surprises awaited them in this unfolding adventure? Mr. Anderson's voice hung in the air, teasing with intrigue. Sarah felt her pulse quicken. "What does he mean?" she whispered, glancing at Jake, whose face mirrored her own mix of excitement and uncertainty. The boy, still sitting on the bench, looked between them, hope flickering in his eyes. "Are you really going to let me ride with you?" His voice trembled slightly, both eager and cautious. "Absolutely," Jake promised, grinning wide as if they were all part of an unbreakable pact. Mr. Anderson cleared his throat, and the crowd hushed, anticipation crackling like static electricity. To understand the full magic of this day, you must know that every ride comes with a story. Every child who gets to experience this will not just ride in these fantastic cars, but they'll also experience something even greater. "What do you mean?" Sarah asked, her brows furrowing as she turned to the man. "It's not just about the thrill of speed," he said, glancing at the assembled cars gleaming under the sun. "Each ride will allow us to connect with a special purpose. These children will share their hopes, their dreams, and their challenges. It's an opportunity to show each other kindness, just as you have." Sarah felt warmth bloom in her chest, igniting her spirit. The boy beside her seemed to sense it too, his eyes brightening with every word Mr. Anderson spoke. "So, it's like a chance to bond?" Jake ventured, tilting his head. "To share?" Mr. Anderson nodded. "Exactly. It will remind us all that we're alive and that our stories matter, no matter our background or struggles." A ripple of understanding swept through the crowd. Sarah felt as if she were part of something much larger than herself. She studied the scene around her. Parents and children began to gather in small groups, whispering, sharing what their rides would mean to them. "Let's do it right now." The boy piped up, excitement bubbling to the surface. It poured out like a waterfall, washing away his earlier sadness. "Okay. Let us find a car," Sarah encouraged, the contagious energy igniting her spirit even more. They scouted through the eye-catching rows of supercars, their colors vibrant against the grass. "Look at that one." Jake pointed, his enthusiasm palpable. It was a bold red sports car, the kind that made hearts race and dreams soar. "That's the one." As they approached the car, a soft hand snaked around Sarah's. She turned to find the boy, his enthusiasm matching their own. "Can I sit in the front?" he asked, pleadingly, his voice barely rising above the din. "Of course." Sarah laughed, nudging him gently forward. "You deserve the best view." While they waited for their turn to ride, the boy shared his story, timidly at first, then with increasing confidence. "I love cars," he said. "I always imagine what it's like to drive one. My mom says I could have my own someday." He smiled brightly, momentarily forgetting his earlier tears. As they listened, Sarah and Jake exchanged glances, touched. This was the connection Mr. Anderson had spoken of. She realized how special it was to lift someone up, to create a moment they would both remember forever. "Okay, remember this feeling," Sarah suggested, reaching out to ruffle the boy's hair playfully. "When we're flying down the street in that car, hold on to your dream like it's your seatbelt." The boy laughed, the sound pure and unguarded, a stark contrast to the tears he had moments ago. The excitement in the air was palpable as the first car roared to life ahead of them, the sound echoing like thunder, promising adventure. As they hopped into the sleek vehicle, Sarah's heart raced with the thrill of what was coming next, both in the ride and beyond. "Strap in," Jake said with a grin, a hint of mischief in his eyes. "We're about to take off into a whole new world." But before the engine could purr and the wheels could spin, Mr. Anderson stepped in one last time, his voice low but intense. "This is just the beginning. After this ride, something even bigger awaits, something that will change not just today, but your lives." "What does he mean?" Sarah thought, excitement mixing with curiosity, leaving the thrill lingering in the air. What could possibly happen next? The roar of the engine startled Sarah from her thoughts. The car vibrated beneath them, alive and waiting. The boy's eyes widened with anticipation, his small hands gripping the leather seat as if it were a lifeline. "Here we go!" Jake shouted, tapping the dashboard enthusiastically. Sarah felt a buzz of nerves and joy dance within her. This was it. The ride promised to be exhilarating, but more than that, it felt like they were on the cusp of something significant. Anderson gave a nod to the driver, who was already smiling and ready to take them on their adventure. The engine revved louder, humming with energy, resonating with the beating of Sarah's heart. Just as the car began to move, Mr. Anderson stepped back, the weight of his words hanging in the air. The rush of the wind hit them as the car sped forward, the world blurring into streaks of color. The boy leaned forward, his laughter ringing out an infectious joy that filled every corner of the car. "This is amazing!" he exclaimed, cheeks flushed with excitement. Sarah couldn't help but smile, her own heart soaring alongside the car. As they zipped down the track, the scenery flowed past like a vivid painting. Tall trees waved goodbye, and vibrant flowers danced in their wake. The experience was magical, energizing, and yet, a tinge of anxiety bubbled beneath the surface. What was Mr. Anderson leading them towards? "Can you imagine what you'll do when you get your own car?" Jake called out, looking over at the boy, who was whooping joyfully and living in the moment. "You'll be the fastest driver around." The boy nodded vigorously, his laughter ringing through the air like music. "I want to drive all my friends around." The wind whipped through Sarah's hair, and for the first time in a long while, it felt like everything was possible. She closed her eyes for just a moment, inhaling deeply. The scent of fresh grass and gasoline mixed in the air made her heart swell. This was more than just a ride, it was liberation, hope, and friendship crystallized into a fleeting moment. Suddenly, the driver slowed down, a hint of a smile on his face. They had reached a beautiful overlook, a glorious view stretching out before them. The sky radiated with hues of orange and pink as the sun began to dip below the horizon. It was breathtaking. "Wow," the boy whispered, his voice delicate amidst the clamor of the world around them. Sarah could see his little mind processing the beauty. This was not just a pause, it was a moment connecting them all under the same sky. As they stood awestruck, Mr. Anderson's earlier words echoed in Sarah's mind, this day would change their lives. What could be greater than this ride? "Let us take a picture," Jake shouted suddenly, his phone already out. They all squeezed together, the boy beaming brightly, Sarah's arm wrapped around him, the angle just right to capture the sunset painting the landscape behind them. Click. The shutter captured the moment, a little fragment of life frozen in time. As Jake reviewed the photo, a sudden commotion pulled Sarah's focus. She saw a line of cars approaching, shimmering in the golden light, each more stunning than the last. The crowd that had gathered erupted into cheering gasps. It was a sight to behold. "What is this?" Sarah stammered, the adrenaline still coursing through her veins. Mr. Anderson stepped forward once more, his smile wide, electric with energy. "Welcome to the second part of your adventure. It's time to find out how far hope and kindness can take you." Sarah's heart raced. What did he mean? What was about to unfold before them? The crowd buzzed with anticipation, their chatter punctuated by the rumble of engines revving in the distance. Sarah glanced around, eyes widening at the stunning array of cars gleaming in the warm light. They weren't just vehicles, they were works of art, encapsulated in vibrant colors and polished metal. It felt surreal, as if stepping into a movie where dreams could suddenly become reality. "What is happening?" the boy asked, his voice a mix of confusion and wonder. Sarah sought Jake's gaze for answers, but he seemed just as lost in the spectacle. With a flourish, Mr. Anderson beckoned them closer. "This is more than just a show, it's about connections," he declared, his voice strong, resonating through the excited crowd. "Today, you will witness how simple acts of kindness weave the fabric of hope." Sarah squinted against the sunset, her heart pounding. Kindness. Hope. She didn't fully grasp what he was implying, but the energy in the air shimmered with potential, like the electric buzz before a storm. The first car rolled up, its engine purring like a content cat, the driver flashing a dazzling smile. As he climbed out, the crowd surged, eager for a glimpse of the high-speed art piece. Sarah watched as he greeted children nearby, tousling their hair and sharing playful banter. They laughed and squealed, completely taken by the magic of the moment. Then, another car, this one even more eye-catching, rolled to a stop. It was a candy-red convertible that seemed almost alive, radiating warmth and charm. The door swung open, and a girl a little older than the boy stepped out. She looked around, her expression searching until her eyes landed on the boy. With a gentle smile, she approached. "Hey there. What is your name?" Startled, the boy shuffled his feet, then managed, I'm Jake." "Nice to meet you, Jake." She knelt to be eye level with him. "I love your enthusiasm. I think you're going to have a fantastic birthday today. What is your favorite car?" The boy's eyes sparkled. "That one." He pointed, his excitement bubbling back to the surface. Without hesitation, the girl took his hand and led him toward the convertible. "Want to sit in it? Just for a bit?" Jake's face was a canvas of wonder and disbelief as he climbed inside. The sound of laughter and cheering around them enveloped the moment, a flurry of excitement that made Sarah dizzy. Each person they passed wore smiles that matched their vibrant surroundings, but then, amid all the joy, Sarah noticed something. Not everyone in the crowd was celebrating. A boy near the back looked lost, his head down, shadows passing over his face. Frowning, Sarah moved towards him, drawn to his quiet despair amidst the revelry. She kneeled beside him, uncertain of how to reach out. "Hey, are you okay?" she asked softly, her heart aching with the sight of his tears. That he shook his head, his voice barely audible. "I don't have anyone to share this with. At that moment, something within Sarah shifted. She remembered the bond she had with Jake and felt compelled to try. You know what? You're not alone. Come with me, let us check out the cars together. The boy looked up, surprise flickering in his eyes. Really? Of course. She affirmed, holding out a hand. Before they could move, the sound of roaring engines crescendoed as another line of cars surged into view. Spectators erupted into cheers, but Sarah's focus remained on the boy beside her. It was time for kindness to take the lead, and as they walked toward the spectacle, she felt a promise in the air. A promise that perhaps today, hope could be embodied in the gestures of connection they would share, but in that vibrant moment of happiness, another commotion began to stir, pulling her attention back to the road ahead. A figure emerged, someone familiar, and Sarah's heart sank. Why now? What had she overlooked that could change everything all over again? The crowd parted, gasping as the familiar figure stepped into view. It was her father. Sarah's heart raced, a mix of dread and confusion swirling inside her. Why was he here now? The joy moments ago felt fragile, like a soap bubble about to burst. Dad? She called out, her voice barely more than a whisper. His presence had always been a source of comfort, yet now he seemed out of place, his brow furrowed and his hands clenched into fists at his sides. He spotted her immediately, and the tension in his face washed away for a brief moment, replaced by a soft smile. But it didn't last. He approached with purpose, his expression shifting to something more serious. Sarah, we need to talk. Confusion danced in her mind. The energy of the event thrummed around them, cars gleaming, laughter ringing out, but this was her father. He rarely talked to her like this, especially not in front of all those people. She hesitated, glancing back at the boy beside her. The moment of connection, the spark of hope she had just ignited, teetered on the brink of collapse. Can it wait, Dad? No, it can't wait. It's important. He spoke firmly, though she could hear the concern beneath his tone. Sarah felt a cold knot form in her stomach. Okay, she said, even though every fiber of her being wanted to remain with the boy. Her world was suddenly shifting, the colors fading a touch, leaving behind the stubborn glow of reality. Just give me a minute. She turned back to the boy. I'll be right back. Just hang tight, okay? He nodded, hope flickering in his eyes, but uncertainty shadowed his face. Sure, following her father, she felt a pull toward him, as if he were dragging her back to something she wished to escape. They stepped away from the crowd, the roar of the engines fading into the background. The cars seemed to blur together as if someone had smeared the vibrant colors. All she could see was the serious look on her father's face. Sarah, sit with me for a second. He gestured to a nearby bench secluded from the throng of jubilant festival-goers. She complied, her mind racing ahead, anxious about what would come next. Dad, this isn't the time for a lecture. Can't this wait until later? I know, he said, rubbing the back of his neck, a habit she recognized from when he was stressed. But I just got a message from your aunt. She needs our help at home. It's serious. Her mind reeled. Home. She thought it was supposed to be her day, a break from everything else. What do you mean serious? He took a measured breath. She's not well, Sarah. I don't think we can stay for long. The weight of those words slammed into her like a freight train. She felt the breath hitch in her throat. She wanted to scream, to argue that it wasn't fair, that life could be so unpredictable. But as he spoke, a new sound rippled through the air, the muted roar of engines began to swell again, more pronounced this time. She could see a line of colossal supercars inching down the long stretch of street. Sarah's heart pounded, torn between the worry for her family and the overwhelming emotion bubbling up from the crowd. The feeling of exhilaration was palpable. It was impossible not to be captivated as the cars approached, vibrant colors shimmering under the setting sun. Can you just give me a moment? She pleaded, knowing she needed a final chance to be present, to share this moment with the boy who had touched her heart. As her father's gaze softened, letting her linger for just a moment longer, Sarah turned back toward the crowd, her eyes scanning for the boy. But to her horror, he was gone. Where did he go? She gasped, panic rising as she stood up abruptly. As she strained to see through the gathered crowd, the engines roared louder. The excitement was palpable, drawing the attention of everyone around. Yet, the pull of the missing boy gripped her heart with a fierceness she hadn't expected. What was happening? Why was everything spinning out of control? Just as she began to call his name, a chilling realization hit her hard. Was her chance for kindness slipping away, or could she still make it count before the day turned darker? Sarah stood there, adrenaline coursing through her veins. She had only looked away for a second, but it felt like an eternity. The vibrant festival, once a backdrop of joy, now loomed like a chaotic whirlwind around her. A tangle of laughter and shouting merged with the rumble of the supercars, each sound a reminder of the chance she might have lost. "Dad!" she cried, desperation creeping into her voice. "I can't leave yet. Sarah, please." He reached for her, his eyes full of concern. She could see the weight of her family's troubles etched on his face. Yet her heart was anchored elsewhere, longing for the boy who had ignited a flicker of connection. Unyielding determination surged within her. What if something happened to him? She shook her head, biting her lip to hold back a wave of tears. The realization stung. She had barely spoken to him, but it felt as if they had shared a world in those brief moments. "Sarah, I understand. But right now, your aunt needs us." His voice softened, pleading, but she could only hear the roar of the engines in her ears, drowning out everything else. But it wasn't just about her aunt anymore. The boy had shown her a glimpse of something she had almost forgotten: hope. A fragment of joy she wanted to chase, not let go. "I'll just look for him. I promise I'll be back," she blurted out, instinct taking over. Before her father could respond, she sprinted back toward the crowd, her heart pounding with every step. She waded through the throng, precariously glancing over shoulders and ducking to catch fleeting glimpses of familiar faces. "Where are you?" she murmured, desperation wrapping around her like a thick fog. As she moved deeper into the mixture of laughter and rumbling engines, she caught sight of something unexpected. A small knot of kids around the corner, their faces lit up with laughter, shock blending into awe as the first of the supercars passed by in a vibrant flash. The crowd cheered, engulfed by colors and engines, but Sarah's attention remained focused, searching every face for the one that mattered. "What am I doing?" Panic gripped her again, breathing heavy in her chest. She was losing hope fast. Just then, through the rapidly thickening crowd, she spotted a flash of the boy's sun-kissed hair. Her breath caught in her throat as he stood near the barrier, transfixed by the parade of roaring vehicles. His face shone with unfiltered joy, eyes glimmering in awe as the cars zoomed by, clouds of dust swirling in their wake. In that moment, she could feel his energy mirrored in her own. Relief washed over her, quickly intertwined with the rush of the festival atmosphere. "Hey!" she shouted, making her way to him as quickly as she could, dodging other festival-goers swept up in the spectacle. "Hey! I was looking for you." He turned at the sound of her voice, a look of surprise flashing across his face, quickly followed by a radiant smile. "You came back." "Yes." she gasped, skidding to a stop beside him. "I couldn't leave without," but before she could finish, a particularly loud roar echoed, causing her to turn. For massive supercars thundered down the street, their brilliant colors reflecting the sun. The crowd gasped collectively, excitement swirling into ecstatic applause. "That's amazing!" he shouted over the noise, his eyes wide and shining. For a moment, they stood together, two souls, lost and found in an overwhelming world. But then, Sarah's phone buzzed urgently in her pocket, reminding her of the reality waiting back home. She sighed, torn between these fleeting moments and the duty that called to her. As the boy's laughter mixed with the revving engines, she looked at him, knowing she faced more than just colorful cars and loud cheers. She had a choice to make. Was the glimmer of connection strong enough to hold her there, or did life demand she let it go? "Can you wait here?" she asked, her voice a whisper over the chaos, desperation flooding back into her mind. That he blinked, uncertainty clouding his joyful expression. "For how long?" "I don't know," she admitted, her heart thumping loudly against her ribcage. She could feel the minutes slipping away, each one a weight anchored to her soul, but the moment felt too precious to rush. As the cars thundered down the street, she held his gaze, grappling with her internal tug-of-war, joy versus duty, connection versus responsibility. Their shared moment stretched, but time was fleeting. Would she walk away when all of her heart screamed to stay? The crowd erupted once more, but in that instant, all she could hear was the quiet thrum of her decision echoing in the space between them. What lay ahead was uncertain, and her heart raced with fear and hope intertwined. One choice waiting to be made, one moment that could redefine everything. Would she take the risk, or would she turn away and let life carry her back into the shadows? Her mind raced, and Sarah could feel her heart pounding against her ribs as each second passed like a slow-motion movie reel. The boy's smile brought warmth that melted away the tension in her chest. Yet, the impending reminder of her responsibilities tugged at her uneasily. "Can you just look at those cars?" she said suddenly, nodding toward the street. The roar of the supercars was exhilarating. "They're incredible, right?" His eyes lit up even more as he watched the colors zip by, a kaleidoscope of dreams flashing before him. "Yeah. I've never seen anything like this." As the cars raced past, his excitement bubbled over, the joy evident in the way he bounced slightly on his toes, wholly absorbed in the moment. For Sarah, those seconds of joy felt like an escape from the world. The noise faded, and she allowed herself to be present, captivated by the contagious enthusiasm radiating from him. She watched as the wind tousled his hair, marveling at how something so simple could bring two people together amidst the chaos of the festival, but guilt clawed at her again, a weight she couldn't ignore. What would happen if she left? What if she chose the duty that loomed at the back of her mind? Would she regret not lingering in this magical instant? "Hey! I'll be right back," she shouted, not fully believing her words but knowing she couldn't stand still forever. She sprinted to a nearby ice cream vendor, grabbing a bright blue snow cone. She took one last breath of festival air, saturated with vibrant colors and laughter, before returning to where he stood, still mesmerized. "Here," she said, holding it out. "For you." His eyes widened, surprise dousing his earlier uncertainty. "Really? For me?" "Of course. A festival treat for a festival friend," she quipped, unable to hold back her smile. He took it, his fingers brushing against hers, and she felt a spark of warmth that bloomed under the excitement of the moment. "Thank you, Sarah. This is amazing." "Yes. But only if you share." She grinned back, teasing him lightly. The laughter between them flowed effortlessly, but as they stood there, surrounded by the brilliant colors and sounds, a blaring siren pierced through the air. It drew their eyes to the horizon, and a sleek, shining vehicle came into view, accelerating toward them. The boy's mouth fell open, and Sarah's heart lurched. "Is that?" With impeccable timing, the supercars began to assemble near the end of the street, revving to life in a controlled chaos. Slowly, a procession formed, the engines growling and the crowds roaring louder than ever. It was breathtaking. The boy jumped up and down, the snow cone temporarily forgotten as he pointed at the brilliant colors rushing past. "Look! They're coming right at us!" he yelled, his excitement creating a magnetic energy between them. The thrill of the moment surged through Sarah, and a feeling bubbled deep inside her, questioning the path already set. Maybe she didn't need to choose just yet. Maybe there was a way to stay here and still be responsible. Yet, amid the spectacle, she remembered her family, the pressures at home, and how time was slipping. Would those moments shared at the festival be enough to build something meaningful? "Let us go see them up close," he shouted, eyes wide with enthusiasm. Sarah hesitated, every part of her yearning to race after the boy, to experience the adventure that lay ahead. But her phone buzzed in her pocket again. Suddenly, visions of her aunt, her dad, the obligations waiting for her, crashed through. Could she just abandon the path prescribed for her? "Wait," she said breathlessly as he began to move. "What's wrong?" His voice was a mixture of confusion and excitement, those big brown eyes eager for her to follow. She started, the words sticking in her throat. Would she choose adventure or duty? The cars, their spirited designs, were pushing her toward possibilities, while shadows of reality loomed behind her. The moment held her in petrified anticipation, the winding path before them glistening with promise. Would she let her heart lead? "What will you choose?" And the life-changing answer remained unspoken, waiting just beyond reality. As the stunning parade of supercars roared past, Sarah felt her heart wrestle between the siren song of adventure and the obligations waiting at home. But she couldn't shake the precious connection she felt with the boy beside her, whose wide eyes mirrored the excitement swirling around them. "Let us get closer." He tugged at her hand, a whirl of joy and enthusiasm. The feeling was magnetic, and Sarah's heart fluttered. She realized there was beauty in living in the moment. Maybe, just maybe, she could embrace both duty and adventure. "Okay. Let us do it," she replied, their feet pounding against the pavement as they darted toward the vibrant spectacle. Cars glided past, each more breathtaking than the last, their engines purring like contented cats. It filled her with a sense of wonder, chasing away the anxieties that threatened to pull her back. Together, they pushed forward, excitement igniting the air around them. "Look at that one!" the boy shouted, pointing excitedly at a dazzling blue sports car, its sleek curves glistening under the sun. Sarah laughed, her heart swelling with joy. They simply stood in awe, captivated by the beauty around them, absorbing each breath of life. Then, without warning, a booming voice interrupted their reverie. "Hey everyone, thank you for being part of this incredible day." It was Mr. Anderson, standing tall on a small podium, addressing the captivated crowd. "We believe in the power of connection, and that's why we want to invite you all to experience something truly special." Sarah felt her heart race again. Was this what he had been hinting at before? A wave of anticipation washed over the crowd as they leaned closer. The boy squeezed her hand, eyes shining with uncontainable hope. "What do you think it is?" he wondered. "I have no idea, but I can't wait to find out," she replied, her voice humming with excitement. "Everyone gathering today will get a ride in one of our supercars, an experience that goes beyond just speed. It's about building friendships, sharing dreams, and embracing kindness," Mr. Anderson declared. The crowd erupted in cheers, a wave of happiness crashing over the park. Sarah grinned at the boy, their dreams igniting around them like fireflies. "Can you believe it?" she exclaimed. "We're going to ride in a supercar." A group of volunteers began organizing children into small groups, spacing them out in front of an array of dazzling vehicles. Sarah and the boy eagerly joined the line, hearts pounding, anticipation transforming the air into golden light. Just then, she heard someone call her name. It was Jake, running toward them, his eyes sparkling with excitement. "Sarah! The cars are ready. We're going to ride in one together. Do you want to join us?" she asked the boy, her heart racing with joy. "Really? You want me to?" His face lit up, and he nodded vigorously. "Of course. Come on." The trio lined up, sharing laughter and stories as they eagerly awaited their turn. Slowly but surely, they moved closer to the magnificent vehicles. As they climbed into a sleek red convertible, the world around them blurred with motion and excitement surged through Sarah's veins. "This is it," she shouted. "Feel the wind." The driver revved the engine, and in an exhilarating moment, they tore down the street, the wind rushing through their hair, laughter blending with the roar of the engine. They shouted their joys into the wind, embracing the reality of friendship forged in shared adventure. As they whizzed past rows of cheering supporters, Sarah felt alive, free, wrapped in the moment, like threads in a beautiful tapestry. When they finally returned, the joy in the air was palpable. Mr. Anderson waited for them, a knowing smile present on his face as they stepped out of the car. "See? Today is about more than just the adrenaline rush," he said, glancing at the boy. "It's about celebrating the connections we create, the kindness we share, and how those moments can transform us forever." Sarah felt a swell of understanding as the boy turned to her, his face filled with pure gratitude. "Thank you for sharing this with me. You've made today unforgettable." "No, thank you," she replied, feeling her heart brim with warmth. She had learned what true wealth meant. It wasn't in the cars or the attention, but in the empathy, friendship, and kindness they had all shared. As the sun set in a glorious blaze of colors, illuminating their small corner of the world, Sarah realized that they had all become part of a family that extended beyond themselves. She looked at Jake, then back at the boy, knowing this was a moment she would cherish forever. With renewed hope, they pulled together for a group picture, capturing the magic of that day. Joy radiated from their faces, and as the camera clicked, they sealed the bond formed through struggles, dreams, and laughter. And in that moment, they understood, they would carry this experience with them, no matter where life took them. Sarah took a deep breath, fully present in this moment of joy and connection. "Ready for the next adventure?" Jake nudged her playfully. "You bet." She grinned, knowing this was just the beginning, a new chapter bursting with possibilities. As the festival continued to buzz with energy, Sarah knew her heart would carry this day forward, always a reminder that kindness, friendship, and love could change lives, even her own. And now, for you. This is the moment to show your support. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and spread the good vibes. Comment your reactions and feelings about this inspiring ending. And, for goodness sake, share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait not even one more second to share. The world needs these stories. You need to subscribe now to keep our journey alive and thriving.